and you get this pretty boy over here who's just stealing every
Do you think that's
scene.
the first time he's ever been called a pretty boy before, Miguel?
No. Ryan Reynolds?
No, Miguel.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to Under Oath. Deadpool.
Come on, man.
Deadpool.
It's the movie we deserve. Think about it. Comic book fans.
You know, the hard part about it is the first one was so good.
Yes, it was.
And the second one, there were some things. There were some little moments for me.
There was a lot of moments for me.
Not like the first one.
For me, there were some magical moments that just happened, and they only happened because Ryan Reynolds just called in every favor he had. Honestly, let's talk about it. Like, he called in every Hollywood favor he had. Hey, Brad, I never bother you, right? I never ask you for anything. Can you do this one scene where you're butt naked? And he said yes.
I have got a question.
I got an answer.
This is the hard one for me.
Got it.
I know the history between Wolverine Origins and the original appearance of Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds was promised that they would do a Deadpool movie if he did this movie.
But then they made that movie.
They closed his mouth.
Yeah.
In the middle of shooting. And he knows why that happened.
Why?
Well, because he was stealing the movie.
Because he's Ryan Reynolds.
I know that, but if you're the head of the movie, if you're the lead, you know, and I think that's where a lot of this animosity came for years.
Ryan Reynolds is. Well, I can see Ryan Reynolds being considered a scene stealer.
I'd hate have it.
He's good.
If I'm the lead of the movie and he's my sidekick,
I'm like, oh,
it's like being around Miguel.
Wow, that's a great comparison.
Yeah,
like
our buddy Miguel Colon.
Yeah,
if him and I are doing a show together, he's gonna blow past me.
Yeah.
He's gonna do 75% of the talking.
But here's the thing: we have accepted Miguel is going to get the best lines, and we don't have a problem with that. But if I'm an actor and I'm the guy, and you get this pretty boy over here who's just stealing every scene.
Do you think that's the first time he's ever been called a pretty boy before, Miguel?
No. Ryan Reynolds?
No, Miguel.
Oh yeah. Pretty boy Miguel.
Pretty boy. Looking good.
Yeah. I could, now that you put it that way, I'm thinking back to the movie. I could see how that would make Hugh Jackman a little
furious.
Bro, like this guy. But it also speaks to Ryan Reynolds' talent. Ryan Reynolds' talent, I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but you have to be a team player too.
Yeah.
You're going to go, this movie isn't your movie, but yeah, you're a supporting character, so be great. But don't be too great.
See, I got a problem with that because we've had instances as comedians where we have to go on before the main guy. He's more famous, has more likes, more followers. How do I be less funny, Jeff?
That's not what I'm saying. Imagine this. Your feature, so that you know, a feature does 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's say your feature goes on, he's killing it.
Yeah.
25 becomes 35.
Okay, you go over your time.
35 becomes 45.
Now we're talking about you not respecting certain things. Now we're talking.
Well, in a scene where you go overboard and you take things, go farther in a scene than you should.
Gotcha.
And you're doing this. I mean, for example.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
A lot of improv, a lot of this.
But doesn't he do that in every movie? But he's not the main
his
guy.
movie.
Not your movie. Got it.
So you're sitting there and everyone's, you know, like they pan Tommy Lee Jones because he hated working with Jim Carrey.
Okay.
In the crappy Batman movie.
That was a horrible one, yeah.
And he goes, can we stick to the lines? Because Tommy Lee Jones has a script.
He does.
Because I want to follow this script.
He's a trained
I don't want
actor.
to spend 6 hours with 5 being off script.
Yeah.
And that's what he hated. He goes, I hate this guy. He's not professional. He won't do these things. You know, if they ask you for a take, okay, give it to him. But if you're not asking for it and you're just screwing with all the other actors for your own self-indulgence.
Okay.
And that's how I think it probably played. And I always thought, I thought the way you did.
Okay.
Until I really started thinking about it, going, come on, what are we talking about here? And that's a problem when you're going, okay, that's enough. And they had dailies back then. Where they would show the dailies and everyone would laugh at his stuff.
He's good. He's good.
Could you imagine your star? You're going, he's stealing this movie from me.
It still comes off, even though you might be completely right. It still sounds a little insecure. It sounds a little. Come on, bro. There's enough for everybody.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Everyone's insecure.
But can I say that? If what you're saying to me is true, that Ryan Reynolds was a threat and he was overdoing it, it speaks a lot then to him as a man and an actor that he still thought this is what fans would want to see you, my friend, as Wolverine come back. I want to make that happen. Even though you might have screwed me badly in that movie with the whole mouth thing.
Or you do the last Wolverine movie, does really well.
Does.
Kills off your moneymaker.
Yeah.
And you put out like 2 or 3 movies after it. You do your musical movies that aren't blockbusters. They do okay.
No.
But nobody is giving you 40, 50 million to do a movie.
And you have won a Tony, right? Like he's done plays.
How about
and all
I'm willing
that
to
stuff.
bet? Yeah. I'm willing to bet you his payday on this movie is going to be somewhere between 40 and 100 by the time it's done.
Because you think he took back in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also had to pay him a ridiculous amount of money too.
You think so? Ridiculous? You don't think 20?
Watch this. Take him out of the movie.
It's not the same. It doesn't work.
Do we care as much for Deadpool 3 without him?
Not okay. Let me say this. Make sure I put this in perspective for people who are watching who may not be comic book fans. Right. When it comes to Deadpool, we're here. Like yes, I'm talking anticipation. But you add Wolverine, something that we thought we'd never get, then it puts it into a whole new stratosphere.
I think you double or triple it.
Yes.
Easy.
So do I.
So you go, we're going to bring this guy in, and we're going to split. When you think about it, we're splitting the marquee.
Yes. Which also speaks to Ryan Reynolds, I think, character.
Or,
you're just going to make a ton of money. Or
more money.
In the back end.
What movie are we talking about?
Deadpool.
When was the last time you and I would dedicate a whole segment?
Not never. Not never. No.
Everybody is.
Yes.
Everybody is for one reason.
Yes.
In and Out, Inside Out, the sequel, did over $1 billion. A superhero movie hasn't done money in a little
while.
bit.
Yes.
Marvel's had a lot of failures. DC's had a lot of failures. When we say failures, we're talking about...
Doesn't make $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's how they do it
Under
$1
billion.
For superhero movies, if you don't make $1 billion, you're like...
Especially on a well-named character.
Yes.
So we're talking about this right now, and we're going, okay, let's crush this.
Yeah.
And it's going to kill.
It is going to kill.
It's going to kill.
Yeah.
And I'll probably see it multiple times.
I was just about to say, and here's what's going to happen. It's going to be not only a movie that does very well with people going to see it, but there's going to be a lot of repeat views on that movie.
And a lot of... Okay, here's the thing. Everyone says, they're pandering to the audience. What the hell's wrong with that?
Yes.
You pompous windbag.
Give me what I want.
Pandering to the critics is better than pandering to the people who actually pay to see the movie?
Cha-ching.
Most critics don't have to pay to see the movie.
No, they get it for free.
They walk in, they go, let's please review the movie, do these things.
Or they send them a copy.
Lazy bastards.
Yes, man.
Now, the problem I have is on TV, it's not the same movie.
No, you got to be in a certain setting.
And I will tell you
with
this.
You on that.
As a critic, when you're watching 20 movies a month.
That's a lot of movie.
It's like going on Disney rides.
Yeah.
It's going to Disney 20 times a month. You don't care.
No, you don't.
All you care about is how people interpret your words.
That's right.
Your creativity. And you go, well, that was really mean. That was good. That's so good how mean I was. I came up with this great line where people read my stuff. They clicked through my stuff. I'm important. Likes and hates and everything and comments. So there are many times that reviewers don't even see the whole movie. Some of them only see, believe it or not, the trailers. And they write reviews based on the trailer.
That's insane.
I know.
That's like being a food critic and not actually eating the food.
Exactly.
Okay, that's just nutso to me.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about. So I think when it comes down to it, ask yourself this question: how many times has somebody reviewed a movie and you didn't go because of it? Too many times.
And then I find out later, I'll watch the movie when it starts streaming and be like, that wasn't bad, like they said. And I started figuring out it's a money-making scheme reviewing. And I'm sorry, anybody who's a fan of Rotten Tomatoes, it is a money-making scheme. You start to influence certain things, if you know what I mean, when you start putting stuff like that together and being a movie critic, if you will.
Yep.
You start telling people, well, if you like this, then you're stupid. If you, that's why I love seeing the audience review rate compared to the critics rate. Audience loved it.
Yep.
But you hate it.
I never try. But then again, I don't trust audience reviews on controversial movies.
Yes.
Or people give fake reviews. Mm-hmm. That's the same thing we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing that throws me. I got to interview Kevin Smith a long time ago.
Which is crazy.
Which was amazing.
Which is crazy.
I was involved in his interview. It was amazing. It was me and Jason Buckethead, Jason Bailey.
Jason Mewes.
And he called me in to be in this interview for an hour. And I told him something, and he thought I was screwing with him. I said, listen, Jersey Girls was a great movie. And he looked at me, and he was like, what do you mean? Come on, you got to work with Carlin. Will Smith was in that movie.
Yes.
I mean, you had these great moments in this movie that I've watched this movie 5, 6, 7. Compared to some of your, I've only seen Dogma once. Mm-hmm. And you think that's a fantastic movie. I've seen Jersey Girls probably 10 times.
There you go.
Easy. I've seen Clerks 2, which they panned probably about 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's what happens. True. When people put down a movie, everyone believes it was a bad movie.
And I believe some movies, there is a fix in to pan certain movies. It just seems like there's an unbelievable energy to try to tank this movie.
Well, what's happening right now, and I'll tell you how it is. Any religious movie that comes out that's made by independent, they pan.
Yes.
And I want you to know something. I look at these religious movies the same way I look at the Christmas movies.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Yes.
So why do you hate it so much?
I don't need you to change my life with the movie. Make me feel good.
What's wrong with feeling good?
I need to go feel bad for 2 hours?
I don't like this guy because he doesn't believe what I do.
Okay.
Now, I've never seen in any of these movies any negativity towards a certain group of people.
No, neither have I.
But the argument is because these people can be negative towards people or people who go to these movies, then we have to hate the movie. Mm-hmm. And that's impossible. The Sound of Freedom was, about child trafficking.
Yes.
Great movie. Mm-hmm. And there's another one coming out, which is about adopting foster kids out of the system, and that'll get panned too.
Yeah, it will be.
What's wrong with us being decent? Just because some people aren't as decent as they should.
Not artsy enough. You need to be artsy. You want to. Yeah, you have to be artsy if you want me to love it.
There are people out there who make it clear that we can't go to movies because they don't want us to. Well, guess what? Pound sand. I'm going, and I'm taking 800 people with me.
Amen.